always had to bargain with God and come up with these deals with God. And at a certain point in my life, I decided that I can't believe in this God. And yet, as much as I decide I can't believe in this God, I nonetheless continue to fear him. Many of us have struggles with God. Who is God? What does he want from us? I remember a cute comic strip, Calvin and Hobbes. Hobbes, of course, is the toy tiger, and Calvin is the little boy. And they have these little interesting discussions between them. Hobbes turns to Calvin and says, Calvin, do you believe in God? Now, Calvin's got this kind of philosophical look on his face. And he says, well, somebody's out to get me. And you know, for the last 25 years, I've been involved in education. And I've had the opportunity to really help counsel hundreds, if not perhaps thousands of people. And I've found it to be a common thread amongst many people that people are suffering a phobia that I think we could call theophobia. Theophobia is this intense fear of God. One of the workshops that I do in our center, Israelite, in Jerusalem, I do a workshop where I have people write letters to God. And in fact, I ask them to write the letters with their non-dominant hand to simulate the writing of childhood, because I want to somehow inspire them to access memories that they had as a child. And basically, the letters start like this. Dear God, I always wanted to ask you. And then just see what happens. Of course, writing with your non-dominant hand, you're writing like a child. And you begin to release some of the childhood memories people have with God. What's so fascinating about these letters is almost all these letters are dump on God letters. Dear God, I always wanted to ask you, why did you take my grandfather away from me? Dear God, I always wanted to ask you, why are there so many wars and so many people being killed today? Very rarely would I hear a positive letter to God. In fact, I recall one woman who did in fact write a very positive letter to God. She said, Dear God, I always wanted to ask you, why do you love me so much? How did you make the butterflies so beautiful? How did you infuse the flowers with so much fragrance? And as she was reading this incredibly upbeat, positive, loving, warm letter to God, people in the room started to giggle. People started to feel uncomfortable. And that was really a shock to me. How not only do so many people harbor these negative feelings and associations with God, but they even find it somewhat comical that somebody does. In one of my workshops, I asked the participants to simply do a free association. I'll say, God, childhood, what comes to your mind? Well, so one woman shoots up her hand immediately, and she says, I can't believe it. I can't. I don't think I've remembered this story, perhaps since it happened. It's amazing how this came to me so immediately. I don't know what I did wrong, but I recall my mother yelling at me, God's going to punish you. God's going to punish you. And my mother, I guess in the name of God, starts running after me, and she's going to punish me, of course, in the name of God. So running away from my mother, I ran into the bathroom, and I locked the door. My mother started banging on the door. You bad girl, come out, because God's going to punish you. You bad girl, come out. God's going to punish you. Well, to that, I recall, I answered, no, he's not, because I'm in the bathroom, and he can't get me here. And to that, my mother responded, oh, you silly curl. God is everywhere, even in the bathroom. Now, can you imagine? Could you imagine a little girl having to be in the bathroom, and her mother telling her that God is so mean that he runs after little girls even in the toilet. You're not even free in the bathroom. This was the story this woman shared. Everyone in the room had a kind of like a whoa, And I then began to understand this woman a lot better.